Here we are, September 2020, and a lot of stuff has happened this year. But what does that mean for certain financial markets? The stock market, job market, real estate market? Well, in this video, we'll give you an update. And if you stay to the end, I'll tell you about some opportunities that you could take advantage of as a result of where our economy is at. So the three primary areas that we are going to give an update on are the stock market, real estate, and job market. So let's jump into the stock market. That's one that a lot of investors, a lot of people who have 401ks or IRAs, any retirement account, they're worried about. So where are we at? All right, so I'm just gonna take a look at the Stocks app on the iPad here with you to show you exactly what happened and where we're at now. The Dow Jones is a ticker symbol that is comprised of a lot of different stocks, and a lot of news publications and a lot of people look at this to let them know, okay, where is the market at? How is the stock market doing? Because again, there's kind of a lot of stocks that are involved in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So if we look at the 6-month average, what's happened over the last 6 months, you can see that it started out in the beginning of February, a little over 29,000, really high. It did really well. And then you see that it goes way down just before April, and that's when kind of all this coronavirus, recession, stay home period, all this stuff kind of happened. Well, then it went on a steady increase, had another increase there in June, went down a little bit in June, and has been increasing since. And as you can see, we're over the 6-month period almost fully recovered if we just look at the Dow Jones as a whole. That's really great news. However, there is a truth that we have to understand if we look at this data a little further. We're not really fully recovered. Part of the reason why the Dow has done so well is there's a small handful of stocks, a small handful of companies who have done extremely well. Let's take a look at Apple. If we look at Apple, we see at the beginning of February, they were around that 347 mark. Well, since February, yes, they had a little bit of a decline before April, just like you see on the Dow Jones here, but then they have been increasing and had a huge spike between July and August. Look at the increase they've had from April to August, similar to the increase in the Dow Jones from April to August. You see how Apple's spike has gone up way more? Now, this is what we've seen in a small handful of companies, not what we've seen in every company within the Dow Jones. So the Dow Jones average is almost fully recovered, but there is a truth. Not all stocks in the Dow Jones have recovered. So the bottom line, what is the current state of the stock market? Well, we're almost recovered, but if we look into the data, there are some companies who are doing more than recovering. They're actually thriving and at better spots than they were before the recession. But as a whole, most companies haven't yet fully recovered. There might be some opportunity for investors, but we'll get to that later on. All right, now let's get into the real estate market. As a result of not only coronavirus stuff, but some other things that are happening in local state or city governments, people are moving from certain states to other states. If you look at the data, people are leaving states like Washington, Oregon, California at faster paces than ever before. And people are moving into states like Montana, Idaho, Texas, and here our home state of Arizona at quicker paces than ever before. As a result, in some states, the economy for real estate is booming. And what this means is there are way more people who are looking to buy a home than there are homes to sell on the market. There isn't enough supply and there's a lot of demand. And that means the prices for these homes in these areas are going up. This can mean several different things for those of you who are looking to buy in one of these states like Arizona. You're probably going to be competing with a lot of other people when you make an offer on a home. It's unlikely that you'll make an offer on a home and it'll be the only offer on a home. So there's certain things that you can do to make your offer more attractive, such as making sure you get not only pre-qualified, but you get fully pre-approved prior to making that offer. Now, we did a video a while back talking about the difference between pre-qualified and pre-approved, so check that out in the link below. This also could spell some really cool opportunities for people who own real estate in some of these states currently. But again, we'll get to that later on. Before we jump into the rest of this video, make sure you check out our podcast and our blog. We, this week, did a market update on both of those publications as well. And Jake and Jeremy, they go into even more depth and provide even more information about how our economy is doing today. Okay, so now the last portion of this video before I'm able to give you what opportunities are there. The job market. What's going on with jobs? So many people lost their jobs. Unemployment was at the highest rate ever of all time for our country just several months ago. So where are things now? Well, a lot of that depends on the industry that you're in. There are many industries, many companies that are still trying to recover, as mentioned earlier in the video. But there are some industries, there are some companies that are doing extremely well. One of those, financial services. Financial services is booming right now, whether it be in insurance, in mortgage, or in financial planning, investment management. These folks are busy because our country needs to be served well with their financial services and transactions. All right, some other industries that are doing well, construction, depending on the state or the city. Look, again, there is a lot of demand and not enough supply. So those new home developers or people that are in kind of the construction world, there's opportunity for you. There are places, there are cities, there are states throughout our country where they need construction workers. On top of that, let's look at food service. Man, those people took a big hit during the coronavirus, especially all of that shutdown period. It was rough. People couldn't get out and go to those restaurants. But some of these restaurants were able to adapt. They innovated and they changed the way that they serve our communities. So much so that they have a new way of getting food to people. A lot of these restaurants have opened up areas of their company so that they can do more delivery or they can do more pickup. And they weren't set up for that before. As a result, there's a workforce, a group of people that are needed to help fill these new areas in the food service world. Now again, these are just a few areas that are doing well, but as a whole, there are many jobs, many industries, many areas that still need recovery. So if you're one of those folks who is looking for an opportunity, let's jump into those. So if you're one of those people looking for a job opportunity, here's what you can do as a result of the current economic state. As mentioned, financial services, construction, food service. Those are three areas where there could be an opportunity depending on where you live. But there's another one, education. Yeah, that's right, education. All of us are familiar with what's going on with schools. Do we send our kids back to schools? Do we not? So many people are choosing to homeschool or change the way that they're giving education to their children. Well, a new kind of educational career or job has emerged as a result. If you're an educator, there are a lot of folks out there who are willing to pay you to tutor their kids full time, or maybe tutor or teach their kids along with some other kids in the neighborhood or some other kids that are related to them. These little micro schools that are happening within homes are popping up all over the place. So here's an opportunity now with real estate. Again, if you're looking to buy, make sure you get pre-approved instead of pre-qualified because that'll set you apart. But if you're looking to make a change, if you're looking to potentially downside, or you guys have thought about changing the city that you live in, well, if you live in one of these states or cities where real estate is booming, selling now could net you a pretty decent return. And lastly, let's talk about the stock market for investors. Yes, we are kind of recovered, but again, there are some stocks that are booming and thriving. They've done really well. And there's some companies, some stocks where the price has not yet fully recovered. So there is opportunity. A lot of these companies are really great companies. A lot of these stocks we know will recover and eventually surpass that recovery threshold. So if you're one of those people who thought, oh man, I missed the boat, I should have bought the stocks when everything was down so that I could have earned this increase, the boat hasn't set sail yet. There's still an opportunity for you to invest, for you to buy into some mutual funds and take advantage of some of the growth that will come. Okay, let's get real for a second. We all know that the mainstream media, they make a lot of money. They make more money off of us when they can produce some fear. Hopefully, this update on where the economy is at has reduced some of that fear. You guys, the truth about our economy is there's always going to be ups and downs. There's always going to be risks and opportunities. And as a whole, we're doing all right. There is still some risk and there are still some opportunities. My hope that this economic update, this video, helped you absorb some wisdom and love.